right, welcome to episode 72 of the Illini Basketball Podcast, of course, October 26th. It's a Tuesday, and we're doing our season preview show a little earlier than we usually do, I think, in terms of when the season starts and the date between now and then. But before we get into that, we got a lot of other things to cover. I also wanted to show this and give a little shout-out to the Illini football team for not completely sucking.
They tried to find every way to lose that game, but hey, they found a way to win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean,
things are looking up for Bielema in the
Yeah.
gang. So
the team looked, not bad.
Their defense looked good,
And they could run the ball.
They were running the heck out of the ball.
They just need a quarterback that's not completely terrible from transferring from Rutgers or whoever else they got there. It's just not working.
Yeah.
I think maybe Juice Williams, if he has any eligibility left, that'd be cool.
You think we can bring him back?
I mean, I don't see why not. I feel like
I miss hearing that the juice is loose. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he was one of those guys that didn't suck, so people like him, and I agree. But, yeah, shout out to them. They actually did something. I'm sure they'll lose out the rest of the season, but whatever. That's like the only time we're going to talk about.
Well, they got to win three of the next five or something, and they get in a bowl game.
What's their record right now? 3-5?
3-5, I believe.
How many games? That'd be 4 games left?
4. They got to win 3 of the next 4, and they're going bowling.
Yeah, I guess 6-6 in the Big Ten will do it. Well, that's what it is. But let's get into the actual team, right? The team that, a few years ago, you could say that they're not the actual team, but let's do that. The Illini basketball squad will be playing a game in 14 days.
Yeah, technically, they played an exhibition game.
Well, who cares? I mean, come on.
I mean, it was still nice to see them out on the court. And people at the State Farm Center, people actually in the farm,
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. And the announcers on the Big Ten Plus thing didn't completely – I mean, I know they're student announcers. Last couple years ago when there was Nicholls State on Big Ten Plus, those announcers were horrendous. Yeah. I don't know who they were. I mean, it's a hard job, but come on, you're doing basketball. It's not that hard. The only hard sport is football is kind of hard, but hockey's extremely hard. And, I'm just saying.
Because you can't see the puck, obviously.
Well, also, gathering the information, especially radio. If you're doing radio, I mean, you got to know all the names and stuff. And it's like, Koyovalev to, another name that's confusing. I just made that name up. But,
Russians.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or, Finnish, Swedish, the whole deal.
Wherever hockey players come from.
Any country, yeah.
Let's get into Illinois basketball. How about that?
I think we should. I mean, it's been 3 minutes of pretty much nothing, but we got a lot to cover here. Some rankings, some predictions, other things, draft projections, watch party schedule, the whole deal. But preseason rankings is where we begin, and I think that a little bit more of a mixed bag than last season. I think there's a little bit, some people not sold, some people sold.
Yeah, it kind of wavers anywhere from Sports Nation came out, I believe, yesterday and had Illinois 3, pretty lofty. My brother actually texted me this morning to see if I saw it, and I said, yeah. I said, I guess if you think that Illinois is the best team in the Big Ten and you believe that, I could see how you could have them up there in the top 5. I think 6 to 10 is probably a good spot for them. The AP poll, of course, had him at 11. The coaches poll had him at 17. So I think that the absence of Io has some people wondering if they're going to be good enough or as good as last year. If you ask Curbelo, he thinks they're going to be better. But we can run down these. Rothstein, what's he do? 45, I think.
Yeah.
He has Illinois at 8. And I did put last year's numbers in just so people could get a glimpse of, the difference. Rothstein had Illinois at 7 last year. 247, Illinois comes in at 13. Last year they were number 6. Jeff Goodman has Illinois at 13. Last year he had him at 8. CBS Sports has Illinois at 7, and last year they had him at 6. And Andy Katz has him at 8. Like I said, Sports Nation has him at number 3. And then there's this other guy on here. Who's that?
Oh, that's me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had to throw myself on there because, we're trying to get as many rankings as possible to compare. So I figured, I do have some sort of very little credibility, but I did do it last year and this year, and I feel like that's pretty,
So Ethan has him at number 9.
Yeah, I had him at 6 last year, which I think 9's fair. I think Andy Katz being fair here. Most of the time he's a clown, but
I agree. And you look at the AP poll. So Michigan is 6, Purdue 7, Ohio State 17, and Maryland's 21. After that, we talk about how top heavy the Big Ten is going to be. After that, we'll see what happens. But I like I said, I think 11 is fair enough until these guys are out playing and you see, how they do on a court. I don't think any of these matter. I know that Ant Wright, who you're a big follower of, he said it does matter for recruiting purposes how you come in the preseason, because every school has shared, ranked in the top 25 or whatever. And I get that, but does it matter for the actual basketball season? Not really.
So. No, here's the thing. The more and more I look at this from a Big Ten perspective, and I have a lot of things to say about the Big Ten and what I think about it. I've actually evolved in a lot of the ways that I think about the Big Ten going into the season over the last few weeks, looking into stuff for Friday's show that we're doing, the full college basketball preview show. But I'll save a lot of that for then. But I just think the more and more I look at the Big Ten, I think that people are wrong on a lot of these teams at the top. I think Ohio State's better than most teams think. I watched that Archie Miller Big Ten preview. He had them at number 1, and I don't completely disagree with that. Purdue, I think, is consensus number 1 going into the season. A lot of the reason that people think Michigan's going to be good is a projection. They have a lot of freshmen coming in. They have a new guard. Mike Smith's out. They're bringing in another transfer guard, Devontae Jones from Coastal Carolina. He's good, but is he going to translate to the offense the way that Smith did? I'm not so sure about that. So I think a lot of it is based off of projection. And I think the teams that we know is Purdue is the number 1 team that we know because they have every starter returning. They have the best front court duo from starter and on the bench, Edey and Williams. So I think that we know a lot about Purdue. Maryland's the same thing. Maryland, I think, is overrated at this point. They're a team that's also a lot of projections. They lost Morcell. They lost Wiggins. So they have, let's look at Fats Russell, Rhode Island transfer to Maryland. He's a good player, but he's also a very low percentage, low efficiency guy. He's coming into the Big Ten. I feel like that's not going to translate as well as people think. So I think that the AP poll, like you said, doesn't matter. But I also think that having Michigan ahead of Purdue, I think, is a little ridiculous.
Yeah. And I guess my biggest thing is we saw how Illinois played last year without Io. So it's not like they can't. I know that teams will probably change up their defense. A lot of teams were Io heavy. Maybe Michigan didn't have any clue what to do without having to guard him on the court. But I feel like this team plays so much more like a team. Just watching that St. Francis game, I know St. Francis, it's not, it is what it is, but just the way that they move the ball and the way that Curbelo can run a court, I can see how, some like Sports Nation can have Illinois at 3. It does make sense, but again, until they start playing games and you start seeing matchups, we don't know. Until they start playing teams that actually matter. So, and I don't think we'll get that till we get to Marquette. So,
I would actually like to see who Goodman had as the 12 teams ahead of Illinois. I'm very interested in that. I wonder, because I feel like I was listening to him on part of that because he was on the thing with Archie Miller and Robbie Hummel, which you can call Robbie Hummel a Hummer. What? You can call Robbie Hummel a homer all you want. But Purdue, he did have Purdue number 1, which I agree with. I just think that Purdue's the best team. But I'm trying to find his rankings here.
His rankings, top. What you want? 12. Gonzaga 1, Texas 2, Villanova 3, Kansas 4, UCLA 5. I like UCLA at 5. I think that people are really high on UCLA right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Just from what happened in the tournament, but Purdue at 6, Memphis at 7. Baylor at 8, Michigan at 9, Kentucky at 10, Arkansas at 11, Oregon at 12.
So he's doing a lot of the projecting type stuff because Memphis at 7 is a joke, but it's fine. Do what you want. I think people need to be more transparent on what they're basing their rankings off of for the most point. Like, sure. Are you projecting what's going to happen? Are you looking at the team on paper? Are you considering anything they did last season? Because I think if Purdue was better last season, they'd be ahead of Michigan.
Yeah,
I think that's a big factor. And who did Michigan – like, Michigan lost a lot outside of Dickinson and Johns. Like, they lost Livers, Smith, Wagner. They lost a lot. So I think that's a big factor here. And I think Illinois being as good as they were, losing Io is the reason that they're still top 12 according to almost everybody.
Right. His preface into this is it's always challenging to do early preseason top 25, but this year it's tougher than usual with the incredibly high turnover and also the fact that we didn't see the freshman class on the AAU circuit a year ago.
So why is Memphis number 7?
I don't know.
Their entire basis of their team is on whether freshmen are going to play well or not.
Yeah.
It's questionable for sure. Like, I can't really get behind the narrative of Memphis over Houston yet, but we'll get into all that stuff on Friday. Just a little preview for everybody because we're going to flip it around, reverse it to the preseason awards.
Oh, yes.
I pretty much nailed that transition.
Okay, that was
almost perfect.
You lost me for a second, but I get what you did there. Good work.
I tried my best, and I had to flip it around.
As expected, Kofi Coburn is on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar list for number 1 center in the nation. We'll see how that goes. And then he is the second Illini in a row to be preseason All-American, along with Colin Gillespie, Johnny Juzang, Drew Timme, and who?
Trace Jackson Davis. I didn't know people were this high on him. I knew everybody liked him, but Jesus. I mean, maybe I should reel back a little bit from what I said a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's good.
It's funny because after you had that rant, like I was on Twitter or something, and there are a lot of people that agree with you though, too. That he's a stat patter and so
show me. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think that Jesus, like I would put a freshman on this list over him. I would put Paolo Banchero from Duke. Or Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga.
Do freshmen make All-American teams?
I feel like the top 2 freshmen every year, everybody's so high on them that you'd think that it would happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's confusing,
Yep. I guess just because you haven't seen him play at the college level. So you might win freshman of the year. But
I like that they put Gillespie on here because I think that a lot of Gonzaga or a lot of Villanova's success depends on him. And if he returns from the knee injury properly, I mean, they're going to be really good. So I'm glad he didn't get snubbed. And Juzang, great player, but maybe calm down a little bit. I think a lot of that's based off of the tournament.
Yeah, NCAA tournament.
He was a Kentucky reject, if people don't forget that. He was a Kentucky reject. He was not good at Kentucky.
Well,
of course, I don't think he was used.
What did Kentucky do last year? So
Kentucky was bad last year, I think a lot of people once again doing the whole projecting thing.
Sure.
The only team that has a lot of unknown talent and a lot of players that we don't know if they're going to actually be good or not is Duke. But there's a rule around this. You can get around that with Duke projecting. It's Coach K's last season. There's no way in hell they're not winning the ACC.
I agree.
That's kind of so there you go. You can get around that.
I'm with you on that. So Curbelo was named to the Bob Cousy list for best point guard in the nation. So we'll see if Illinois can win back-to-back Bob Cousy awards. And then this one, I mean, it doesn't mean a whole lot, probably not, but Trent Frazier was voted on by the fans as Defensive Player of the Year. So
in the entire country?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's a tough one. There's a lot of good defenders.
I mean, it was Fox and I think it was Fox Sports.
Yeah,
Illinois wins all those.
Yeah.
Illinois fans are crazy on Twitter. So
I saw Illinois fans freaking out. Well, I guess we're part of that. I saw other Illini fans freaking out about I think the CBS Sports, their little panel they have for all the conference previews. 3 of them had Illinois at 3 and 1 of them had them at 4. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's really not. The only thing that I can't get behind is it seems like the far majority for some reason has Michigan preseason ranked ahead of Illinois, and I just don't agree with that. It's a lot of projecting, like the players that returned, Kofi is better than Hunter Dickinson. That kind of cancels that out. Illinois returned almost everybody else outside of Io and Adam Miller. So I don't know. It's a lot of turnover, and I think people have a little more trust in Juwan Howard than they should. He's a good coach, but
and I mean, losing Miller, I think that hurts more on the defensive end than it does on the offensive end, especially the way he was used.
But Plummer's a different type of defender that I think suits Illinois a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because he can get steals and transition. I mean, they're not going to be as good in transition as they were with Io. But
yeah, because it was give it to Io and just let him get downhill.
Now you give it to Curbelo, and there's probably like a 30% chance he's going to throw it away. So hopefully that gets fixed. Did he? How many jumpers did he make? Just the 1-3 on.
He was one for 3 from 3. I'm not sure his full stat line. I can probably find
as we transition into that exhibition game, another perfect transition. I did say 102-51. Little too much respect to St. Francis. Almost nailed the Illini post.
Yeah, I think you were disrespecting Illinois' defense personally, but
I mean, I thought that they would kind of just mess around in the second half,
I mean, they kind of did. I mean, you kind of look at these lines and you go through them, and Frazier had 10 points. He was 1 of 6 from 3, which you don't like to see.
Which St. Francis is this? Because there's like 30 of them. Because they play another St. Francis in the regular season.
Pennsylvania.
That's the real one. Yeah. Okay. This is like the ragtag high school team.
Yeah.
High school. Yeah. Pretty much.
So
yeah.
You probably could have played for him.
Probably. Yeah. I'd probably be making like 23s a game.
So, but yeah, Trent had 10 points, 3 assists, 6 steals. So his defense was really good. I think he had like 4 in the last 5 minutes of the first half. Curbelo, 11 points, 5 assists. And this is 5 turnovers against St. Francis. So
not good.
Got to clean that up. He did have one of the best passes I've seen in a long time. Half court bouncer through 4 people to Hutcherson. And he made a 3. So you got to like that. Kofi also made a 15-foot jumper. So extending his game a little bit. Will he be able to do that over Hunter Dickinson? I don't know. But 14 points, 6 rebounds for him. DeMonte, 3 points. I think he went 1 of 3 from the 3-point line. There was a quote out there. Underwood said, "I'd like Williams to shoot more, even if that drops his 3-point percentage down to 40%. So Grandison, 4 points, 4 rebounds. And that was your starting 5 there. I think we all kind of knew it was coming. And I think we're going to talk about rotation stuff a little later. But, yeah, Frazier, Curbelo, Grandison, Williams, and Kofi are the starters as of right now. I think the big guys that kind of showed up in that everybody wanted to see was Hutcherson and Hawkins. Hutcherson had 14 points, 7 rebounds. He was 5 of 5 from the field, and then he missed his last 2 shots. Hawkins, 13 points. He was 2 of 3 from 3, 5 rebounds in only 12 minutes. And then Plummer, Goody, Podzimski, Melendez were just kind of there. I don't think they really showed anything amazing. I think they all made a 3, though. I don't know if Goody made a 3, but Pods hit 1, Melendez hit 1, Plummer hit 1. But Goody has been the freshman is the freshman that came off the bench first. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. Once again, Illinois struggled from the free throw line, shooting 62.5%, and they were 8 of 23 from 3. So got to clean up the shooting, the free throws. And Underwood got mad when he should. When guys weren't doing what they should, boxing out, clearing out. So nice, fun little exhibition. You got to see the guys on the bench that are usually playing, cheering for the guys that you don't usually play. Lieb got some minutes in there. Your boy BBV got some minutes. So,
yeah,
thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. Not many thoughts. No. One thing that as the years go by, years really do they fly on by. But in every sport, I dislike the preseason or the exhibitions more and more every single year because it's like so boring and means nothing,
Sure.
But in this case, there were some new faces. You wanted to see what that looked like, and you wanted to see if Curbelo would turn into to make a quick hockey reference. Curbelo turning into Colton Parayko last season for the Blues, which means Curbelo stepping into that number one role and failing, something that Parayko did last year. Let's hope that Curbelo doesn't do that. But he's, of course, rebounded now. But we'll see if he can step into that number one role as the number one guard.
And I text you, I did find it interesting. And I don't know if they'll ever have this moment during the regular season when Trent and Andre were on the bench. Hutcherson was the point guard. So, I mean, what is he, 6'6", 6'7", run the point?
He's about like Io's height.
Yeah. So, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know if we'll see a lot of that.
It's not going to happen, I don't think, unless there's injuries, I guess.
Yeah. But
do they not like Plummer? I mean, he could do it.
I don't know. Didn't see Plummer handle the ball much. He's a shooter. Shooters shoot, as they say.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I had a comment that I already forgot about that I was going to say.
Good.
So I guess we can just move on to the other thing.
Okay. That was that was the best transition of the whole thing. So
I agree.
Good work.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
You may do this? Okay.
Yeah, you do it. Unless you disagree with what I wrote down.
No, I don't have any disagreements because I think that it's all interchangeable for the most part, especially at the beginning of the bench, as you mentioned. The lineup, we all know it's going to be Curbelo, Frazier, DeMonte, Grandis, and Kofi. I think that'll change eventually.
How long do you think that lasts?
I think when they lose to Arkansas after that, probably.
Okay. And who do you start Hutcherson over DeMonte?
I think it depends on how he's playing, but I would think that would be the guy. Unless they want to, move Grandison up a spot and stick Hawkins in there, which, they give them some length, which they need because they're pretty small guard. But I don't know. And then the bench, I think Hawkins, Plummer, Hutcherson, interchangeable. I think more so Hawkins and Hutcherson are interchangeable because I don't know. Plummer, I feel like he's going to get less minutes than we think.
Yeah.
Just the sense that I get.
Yeah. I could see that. I think that you'll. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think in non-conference we're going to see Omar Payne a lot more than in conference, and I think the first two games maybe we'll see Payne more than we'd like. Freshman, Goody, Podziemski, Melendez, those guys will all play a little bit. I don't know how much. BBV will probably lead the team midway through the season and transfer, if I had to guess, because who wants to be here when you're not going to play?
I did, dude. BBVs. I don't know. I think that they're liking him a little bit. So.
I hope that I am wrong about that. We'll see, though. I mean, you never know. Lieb will never touch the floor unless there's an injury. Ever. I mean, there's no way. You put 7 guys out the bench. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
I mean, we don't think BBV or Melendez is going to play.
No. What? 1,
because the first 7 is Podziemski, Goody, Payne, Hutcherson, Plummer, Hawkins.
You can't count.
The first 7 is right up to Melendez.
Hawkins, Plummer, Hutcherson,
that's
Payne,
3,
Goody,
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Well, that's 6. Can you count?
That's 6, then 7. You should have numbered them, to be honest.
Somebody get this guy back in school. Holy smokes.
Math was not my best.
So what I think is interesting, and I did write down which freshman do you think will have the biggest impact. I like everybody was really high on Melendez when he came, and I know that I believe that he was the least highly rated guy coming in, but it seemed like people thought that he would move in and take a spot or get more playing time, but it doesn't seem that. It seems like they're really high on Luke Goody. That is probably the freshman we're going to see the most.
He was the top first guy in the class to commit, right? So
I agree. Yeah,
loyalty or something. I think he'll have the biggest impact.
I just think that he seemed like he was more up to speed with the pace, and I know that, like I said, they were playing St. Francis, so we'll see how up to Big Ten play or actual D1 play these freshmen are. I think that there's a big learning curve there. So, but I think they're all gonna have their minutes, and they're all gonna do good things for the team. I just don't know how much, if they're going to be needed as much as we think, they probably were when Illinois signed them. So,
yeah, which one of these guys transfers after the season, you think?
Brandon, no. Out of the freshmen?
Yeah.
Hopefully none of them.
What a cop out.
If I had to pick one, I'd say Melendez.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I would say all of them, but okay. Melendez to Missouri next year.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, way too early draft projections.
Yeah.
Where'd you get these from?
I don't know. Some guy tweeted them.
Credittwitter.com.
Some rando. I think I probably deleted it too. Anyways.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? These look like trash anyway.
Yeah, Curbelo 34, Kofi 97. It was the top 100. So Kofi 97.
Kofi coming back next season?
Kofi senior year?
Why not? I mean, if he's not projected to be drafted after the season, I mean, why not?
I don't think that you can, until they play this year, and you see like Kofi did hit, like I said, hit a 15-footer. If his game expands just a little bit, I think that he's going to move up.
Way too early means what the hell am I doing this for?
Why are we even talking about it? But sometimes you just need to kill 5 minutes or so. So,
and we got about one there. All right, on to the next.
Two. All right.
Okay, November watch party schedule. The watch parties are looking to be more prominent this season, hopefully, as we embark upon this season and third season, I think, of the podcast. And the team was good.
I don't think we had any watch parties the first year, right?
No, we didn't. We started that last. I think the Mizzou one might have been the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Really set the standard in terms of the.
I think we started 0 for 3 in our watch parties or something like that.
And then people told us to stop doing it as if we had an actual impact on the game, which we don't. But if you think that we do, I'm cool with that. So these dates are subject to change around not my schedule, your schedule, I guess, technically.
True.
You
don't have a schedule. We know.
There may be some new features to the watch party this season, a couple different things that we're incorporating. So you'll see that, which you'll see that on November 9th.
If you pay a lot of money, you might get your name on our banner.
Whew, you better watch out. Maybe like $1,000 would do it. November 9th, Tuesday, Jackson State. First game of the season. We'll be doing one 7:30 Central. Big Ten Network is what that game is on. So I guess we'll probably be live about 7:15. Do that other stuff, pregame stuff. Hopefully they win by like 40, and we can go on from there. Yeah. And then we'll also do one the third game of the season Monday, November 15th at Marquette, 6 o'clock Central, FS1. That is a Gavitt Games BS with the terrible slate. That'll be an interesting game, though. First real challenge of the season, I would say, unless somehow Jackson State and Arkansas State play well. But that I don't see happening. Then
let's hope not.
We have Monday the 22nd, Cincinnati. They'll be playing them 5:30 Central on ESPN News for some reason. So I guess they got some other BS sport going on that night. I guess Monday Night Football will still be going on.
ESPN News like the carryover if a game goes into overtime?
Pretty much, yeah. Or the ESPN app, I guess, now. I mean, I don't know. Everything's changing. But then I'm assuming we'll probably, if we do the Monday game Cincinnati, which it looks like we will, might as well do the next game, which if they lose will probably be K-State. If they win, it'll be Arkansas. TBD on that time, but that's also Tuesday the 23rd.
Right.
And then there's a couple other games, like the Notre Dame game we won't be doing, but there's a couple other games as well. Then December, I'm sure we'll try to do the majority of those as well. So, yeah. We'll come to you with the December schedule at the end of November, probably.
It's going to be exciting, folks.
It better be. I mean, you might want to turn it off at the end after a loss, but
come in and watch us watch a game. So
it's exciting. It's a new thing. You know, people are doing it.
We usually get other teams fans more than we get Illini fans. So
which I think is very good.
If you guys could come in there and support the Illini a little bit for us, so Ethan doesn't have to cuss them all the little 12-year-old kids out, we'd appreciate it. So
if there's any Jackson State fans out there, join us on Tuesday, November 9th. I assume the first game will maybe see some like Arkansas fans or something. If they play them in that game. But without further ado, I guess we should get into the season predictions, which pretty accurate, I think. We've both been pretty accurate the last couple of years. I think we're probably some of the best when it comes to predicting the Illini season, probably better than all those beat writers.
That's definitely for sure.
Who know nothing. They ask stupid questions, terrible questions.
Yeah.
Except for Joey Wagner, good guy.
Joey Wagner, yeah. Shout out to him. Thanks for coming on the show that one time.
Doesn't follow us on Twitter, but he came on the show. I like that. Keep the boundaries and such. It's good. Right. Okay. Non-conference. I forgot where I put my piece of paper. I wrote down all the games.
You wrote them down? Look at this, dude. They have this thing you can print out.
Yeah, and I wrote them on this. All right. My printer was broken up until today.
Did you do scores on all yours too?
I can do them right now.
No, let's not. Okay. We'll save that for another day. We do that before the game.
I just predicted the Jackson State score of 107-61. So there you go. That's what I got for that. Okay. Now, how do you want to do this? Starting a non-conference?
Yeah, we'll do each say ours. I mean, the non-conference, we have the same, so it doesn't matter.
I guess not, but let's just, pretty much winning every single game except for a potential matchup against Arkansas.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there could be another spot where they could lose. Maybe Arizona, even though I don't think Arizona is that good.
Right. I think Arizona's picked to be like third in their conference, though.
Yeah, you're about to see something on Friday, what I think of Arizona. I'm not even close to having them a third. Marquette's an interesting spot.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's not very good.
Road.
Notre Dame's going to be better. I still don't think Notre Dame's a tournament team. I think some people do think they are. I don't see that. Other than that, unless they have a letdown spot, I mean, Missouri, if they lose to, I'm giving up almost if they lose to them this time.
Yeah, might be burning all.
If they lose to them this season, I think it's just kind of an acceptance. We just can't beat Missouri anymore.
They're just better than us.
It's not a Packers-Bears situation, which is completely embarrassing for one side. It's just.
And I think that Marquette game is going to be close. I mean, on the road after you play the likes of Jackson State and Arkansas State.
Going to see Daryl Morsell again?
Yeah, I just feel like that could be a game that they may lose. But
it'd be very annoying to be like 2-1 going into the Hall of Fame Classic. It'd be very annoying.
Correct. Ranked like not in the top 25.
Yeah, if they lost, they would drop to like 23 or something probably. Mm-hmm. Not too worried about that yet, though. Yeah, it's still a month away. Well, not a month, but
if they lose to Marquette, maybe they beat Arkansas and win the Hall of Fame Classic. So
they're going to beat Cincinnati first, to be fair. Which Cincinnati not very good. Let's go a little in depth through the conference. The conference schedule is
rough,
normal. Like it's always going to be pretty hard.
Yeah,
I think they're going to start out 4-0 in conference play.
I agree.
Rutgers, Iowa, Minnesota, Maryland. No reason they can't win all 4 of those games. I did not put the home and away part on my paper here, so I don't have that.
Well, Rutgers is at home and Maryland's at home. That's why I think that they'll win those first 4.
The only thing that worries me about Minnesota,
Iowa's just terrible.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about Minnesota, who's also terrible, most people have Minnesota being last in the conference, is that we don't have Underwood with the ability to dog walk Pitino like he usually does.
True.
So they have a different philosophy. So maybe we'll win by 20 instead of 30. I mean, interesting. 5th game of the year.
You have them losing, huh?
I have them losing at Nebraska. I'm telling you, Nebraska is going to be better than last season. They're still not going to be very good.
What do they do up there? They pound nails or something?
And think about this.
Or is that Rutgers?
That is Rutgers.
Oh.
I mean, what are you doing? Red teams, I guess? I don't know. There's a lot of them.
I don't know. Do I look like John Rothstein?
No, not really. Nebraska has good players. Like their backcourt's pretty good, and they're returning a lot of guys. Plus, Illinois would have lost at Nebraska last year if Iowa didn't take the game over. So I just feel it a little bit of a weird fifth game of the season loss to Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. I'm just going to go with it. Then 6 games, Michigan. Yep. I think they'll win that at home.
At home. Yep.
Jawan Howard needs to prove to me that he can beat Illinois, which maybe he will later in the season, like I think. Anyway. Purdue, 7th game of the year. I'm not sure where that game's at.
It's at home.
It's at home. Yeah, I still think they lose.
They play Michigan at home on a Friday, and then they got to turn around and play Purdue at home on Monday.
Purdue is another team that Illinois has owned the last couple of seasons.
They have. But I don't know. I still think that Purdue has to prove themselves. I know they got everybody back, and Edey's supposed to be better, but he's going to be coming off the bench. Your boy Ivy,
stud, Big Ten Player of the Year. Yeah, it's going to happen.
So I just think that is a tough back-to-back for them to play Michigan, and Michigan's going to be a hype game anyway, so they're going to exhaust everything they have.
What if both teams have terrible records, Illinois, Michigan, going into that?
I don't see it happening, but
nobody's going to care if that happens. What if Illinois is like 10-6? Then Underwood should be fired if they're 10-6. If they start the season 10-6, get them out.
Then we get.
I don't even have the access to that as quickly as you think I do, but I could do it right here, right now.
Underwood, thin ice.
There it is.
I'm wearing the shirt that I was wearing in that video right now.
Watch yourself.
Yeah, then you have them losing at Maryland. That's interesting. I don't really think Maryland's that good, to be honest.
Losing at Maryland.
See, Maryland was a team that I bought into the hype without really paying attention to early in the offseason. Now I don't think they're that good.
Okay.
So I think they'll win that game. Then you have Michigan State and Northwestern Wisconsin. Next 3, I think they win all those games.
Same.
Indiana and Purdue back to back.
Trace Jackson Davis beating up all over Illinois, huh?
Yeah, I feel like going into Indiana when they're not terrible is going to be hard to kind of win that game. Like last season, they had trouble with them there. Yeah. But
we're in a whole new world now, too. These guys, like the freshmen haven't played in front of packed stadiums yet. So,
yeah. And the closest thing they had was
is what I mean to say, but
the Big Ten, tournament was pretty loud.
But the Big Ten tournament was in a huge football dome. It's not the same.
I agree.
I don't care how loud it is.
But how many sophomore players are on this team that are important for that? Corbella's the only one.
2.
Who's the other one?
Hawkins.
Yeah, doesn't count.
Okay.
If he's not playing more than 23 minutes a game, he doesn't count. That's a new rule I just made up. Then they go at Purdue. I think they lose that game as well. 0-2 against Purdue. Tough call, but you got to go with it. And then Northwestern, and then at Rutgers. Rutgers always a very hard place to play. I still think they win that game.
Couldn't get it done last year against them.
It was so stupid.
Yep.
Let's see. Then at Michigan State.
I don't
see that one happening. No, I don't see that happening. I think they'll lose as well. Ohio State, I'm not sure where that game's at. I think it's at home, but I think they'll lose that game too. Lost to them at home last year.
I really love Ohio State.
Enough to beat Illinois and to be a decent team, yes. Michigan, at Michigan. I don't see it. I don't think they can do it again.
Right.
So that's a loss. Penn State, Iowa. What a way to finish the regular season.
At home.
Couple easy wins.
Easy peasy.
So I have them going 13-7 in the Big Ten.
I got them 15-5. Losses.
Not much.
Purdue at home, at Maryland, at Purdue, at Michigan State, at Michigan.
See, I thought my original
15-5 winning the conference.
My original prediction was 14-6.
Getting second behind Purdue.
Right. My original prediction was 14-6.
So was mine.
And then I was like, okay, no way. I'm going to take it down one more notch.
Mine was 14-6, and then I upped it 1 because that's how confident I am.
That seems to be a bit much.
So I got them 25-6 for the season. You got them 23-8.
Yeah. I have
23-8 is more conservative. I could even see him dropping, 21-10, something like that. I could see that.
My official Big Ten top four before, because I'm going to give out the entire thing on Friday. The top four, I have Purdue, Ohio State, Illinois, Michigan. So I think that the conference is going to beat up on each other as is usual. So I still think 13-7 is good enough to get them number 3. With like Purdue being like 16-4 and Ohio State being 15-5. 23-8 in terms of the NCAA tournament is a 3 or a 4 or a 5, depending on who you beat. And if they lose to Nebraska, that could be a tough one to swallow for the committee. Even though I do think Nebraska is going to be better. I think I have Nebraska finishing somewhere in the Big Ten that nobody else does.
Like 6?
Not that high, no.
Okay.
Also, I have the Big Ten.
You have them making the tournament?
No.
Okay. 7
bids is what I have for the Big Ten right now.
Okay.
I don't think Maryland's going to make it, spoiler alert, because I think Maryland is trash, just like Turgeon. That was a little much. They're better than last season, I think, but not that much better. I don't think that I don't buy into the hype.
Right.
Now, the predictions for the leaders in these categories that we picked feel like complete layups this season.
Yeah, they seem pretty easy. I did overestimate my thoughts on what their numbers would be just because I'm playing the homer card on these. So,
Kofi, Jesus.
Top scorer. Kofi obviously.
Yeah. 19.6 is what I put it at. You went a little higher.
21.6. Last year, Io averaged 20.1. So
there's too many players that can score on this team.
I agree.
Like it kind of felt that way last year, but also
I did Kofi numbers that if he does put up these numbers, he wins National Player of the Year. So that's what I was going for.
Even though I think there will be players that have better numbers than him, like Drew Timme probably will have like 22 and 12, but he's playing the West Coast. Do they, bring that into the factor here?
Trash. I mean,
it's not a great conference, but it's not as bad as people think.
Yeah.
I think Ken Palm. Let me look at Ken Palm real quick. I think they had the West Coast somewhere ranked decently, not terribly, 7th overall out of the 32.
What's Illinois in the Ken Palm?
Illinois is 5th. Gonzaga, Michigan, Kansas, Baylor, Illinois, Purdue, UCLA, Ohio State, Villanova, Duke, which I don't know how much of that is based off of last season because Michigan at 2 seems a bit much.
It does.
But yeah, they also have Gonzaga being the number 1 most efficient offense by far this season. So we'll see if that happens again. There you go. Rebounding. Did we do that one yet?
Nope.
I wonder who's going to lead in rebounds.
Curbelo. I mean, Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi.
11.1.
I think he's going to average double-double, or he's got a good chance to. I'll say 10.2. I mean,
okay.
11.1 is a bit on the high side.
Last year he had 9.5. I think he can pull 2 more down a game.
There's going to be more rebounders in this team compared to last season.
We'll see.
Omar Payne. Rebound City.
You think they're going to be on the court together?
No, but they'll be gathering rebounds and taking them away. They'll be over time. The rebounds will. I don't have a point. Iowa's a pretty good rebounder, so that kind of hurt Kofi probably a little bit last season too. But whatever. Assists. Everybody knows it's going to be Curbelo. It's just how many, and will he lead the entire country in assists?
Correct.
8.3 is what I put it at.
9.4.
You were really going for it, huh?
I'm all in.
Steals, Frazier again.
Frazier.
1.9. You think
2.1?
He averaged 1.3 last season. So,
dude.
And you're afraid to pick a breakout player?
No, I'm going to pick one. You go ahead.
Coleman Hawkins. Yep.
Coleman Hawkins. Okay, last year I picked Coleman Hawkins. Did not do what.
Don't pick a freshman. That's all you got to do.
No, I'm picking a freshman because those are the guys that break out. Okay. The year before, I picked my boy Benjamin Bosman Verdonk. He's still with the team. You said that he would transfer 2 years ago. This year, taking another freshman. I'm taking Brandon Podziemski.
Yeah, I wonder
breakout player. You guys watch it. He's going to hit 2 to 3 threes a game. That's breakout enough. Let's go.
I wonder why you picked him. So the idea of a breakout is a player that didn't do much his first season and then broke out the second season.
Wrong.
I think you're completely
wrong. It's a guy
wrong
you don't
here.
expect to have an impact.
But also usually not a freshman.
It's fine. You keep taking your layups because last year you took Grandison. Nobody saw that coming.
They didn't. Who did? That was a tough one. I'm 2 for 2.
I thought you only shot threes. Here you're out.
Alan Griffin
layups.
Nailed the Alan Griffin one.
Taking layups.
2 for 2. Soon to be 3 for 3. Coleman Hawkins, big season. Probably going to average like 25 and 12 with 5 assists.
I just want to throw this out there. Last year when we did this, we were on episode number 34. So we've darn near done 40 episodes since then, which is crazy. So
well, we do them a lot.
We do.
The season begins, yeah. I don't know. I guess the next episode we'll do is a little bit more of a Q&A based deal. Probably the day before the first game, then preview the first game. I don't know if we'll preview the second game as well, which I believe is on the Friday. Maybe probably just preview the first game because we could do like a later in the week one.
So we're going to do one on Monday, the
8th, yeah.
We're going to do a watch party on the 9th, and then we're going to come back on what? Wednesday?
Friday before the game?
Friday before the game. I like it.
Yeah. And then after that, you'll have probably
that game is still TBD on old Big Ten Plus. So
we could do, and then Monday is the first or the second watch party, the Marquette game, the 15th. I don't know when we'll do the episode to review the Arkansas State game and preview the Marquette game, but we'll figure all that out. And season's about to start. The next time that we will be on here will be the day before the season begins.
Yeah.
So
get your questions together. Come hang out for that next episode.
Nobody wanted to hang out here, but I understand,
It's all good.
It's Tuesday.
You guys listen to us later. But
yes, they do. Absolutely. We get like enormous numbers. We're probably like the third best Illini basketball podcast ever. And the best current one because all the other ones right now stink. All right. All respect to the other people. I was just saying that
with all due respect.
With all due respect, you stink. Yeah. I don't see what's wrong with that, but all right. Episode number 70. I already forgot the number. 73.
73.
Will be on the Monday at 13 days or whatever. I don't know how to do math, but we'll see you then on the Monday, November 8th.